All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Skill Up Show. The Skill Up Show is that show where we come and we talk about parenting, especially when it has to do with parenting your young children and your preteen. All right, if you're here right now, I salute you. Why don't you say hello in the comment section? Sorry, we're starting late. We had some glitches that we're still working on. We've been working on for some time. We are hoping that we will get that sorted by the end of this month. We will not have any of this network glitch anymore. Fingers crossed. Welcome to the show. And today we are on to another amazing topic where I will be sharing with you 7 ways that a personalized education plan can change the life of your child. You must have been hearing me share a lot about personalized education plans, a homemade personalized education plan. All right, so when you go to school systems, they create personalized education plans for children in the school system. But and then most times when you see this is when you have children who are struggling with learning and and stuff like that. When a child is probably struggling with some aspect of their learning, you see the school come up with a personalized education plan for that child. Children with certain needs, right, developmental needs, challenges basically, and all of that. But at home, do you know whether your child is in that on that table struggling with one developmental need or not? You could actually create plans for your children. We can actually create, sorry, when you see the sorry about that. We wanted to do some housekeeping just to check that we are showing in all of the places that we should, because sometimes we come live and we realize that we are not we're just showing. Why is it showing this? Sorry about this. All right, sometimes we come live and we realize that we are only on our pro well just we're showing just on to myself, right? Only I can see, the show on Facebook. So let's get that. Let's be sure that our audience can also see me. You see what I'm saying? I was the only one that was showing to. All right, so we've normalized that now. So if you're here with me, don't just be in the background. Say something in the comments so I know that I've got you. I've got company with me. All right, so we're not going to waste time today. We're just going to jump right into the crux of the matter today. All right, so let's just go right in. Now, there's a popular saying that is credited to the Jesuit priests, right? The educators that say, "Give me a child before the child is 7, and I will give you a man." Right? So, I don't know the context in which this post. I mean, sorry, these quotes um was presented, but it can be used to show how important the first 7 years of a child's life is, or how important or how crucial, right, that formative years of the child's life is, and how much, we can do with that period of their life if only we can be focused as their parents or the people who are caregivers to our children. All right, it is important that we understand the place of a personalized plan in the life of your child's, I mean, the life of your child and in the education of your child. People would ask, what is a personalized plan? A personalized plan is a customized plan that is tailored to meet the needs of your child. What this means is that it is personal to that child, and so it is different from one child to the next. So when you create a personalized plan as a parent, it's not a plan that you use for all of your children. It's a plan that is tailored for you to work or support a particular child. So it is customized to meet the need of that child. A personalized education plan does not focus on just one area of your child's education. It doesn't pay all the attention to your child's academic growth or success. It is a holistic plan that encompasses or takes into consideration every aspect of your child's education, because education is a total transformation of a human being, it's a total transformation of a person. So it is not just the educating or the it's not just you educating one area of the child's life or teaching the child to be literate. It's not just about becoming literate. It is not just about learning concepts. It's not just about understanding, a certain part of, education. It's not just about understanding, right, how to navigate through school. It is about raising a holistic human being, a wholesome person. So education is total, education is complete. And yes, education begins way before your child steps into a school. Yes, education begins way before your child steps into a school or into a formal or traditional school. What does that say? It simply says that education is something that begins at home. I like to add that you, as a parent, is your child, you are your child's number one and the most important teacher in your child's life. Many times you hear parents say things like, I have paid school fees. Please let the school do their job. I have done my part. That is that statement is so erroneous. When I hear parents say it, I smile. And if it's parents that I can talk to, I say to them, you just don't know. My goodness. All right, we are so sorry about that. We had, I'm so sorry about that. The nets, the gadgets totally shut down. We've been trying to get it up again, but nothing seems to be working. I'm so sorry about this. We will have to work with a smaller gadgets. I was trying to see. Let's just get into the message and leave trying to get this perfect, right? So let's get into it. I'm so sorry about this. Let's continue. All right. So yes, we were talking about, creating a personalized education plan for your child and why it can literally save your child. We are so sorry that we are having all of these technical issues today. We promise you we are working on all of this, and we are trying to make sure that we deal with this once and for all, and we don't have to be dealing with this again. Before the end of this month, we should deal with all of these issues that we have, with our system and, shutting down the situation and all of that. All right, so let's go. So I started by saying that, right, it's so crucial the early years of our children's life, right, and having a roadmap to help you navigate as a parent during this period is very important. So it is erroneous when I hear, or when you hear parents say things like, I cannot teach my child. I will this, I will that. Some parents will say, hey, I will use my hand and even kill that, and all of that. And when parents say this, I laugh because I know the only reason you are saying that you can teach your child as a parent is because you do not understand what it takes to teach a child. You do not understand that teaching your children is not sitting down and shouting and screaming and pointing and saying, can't you see this? Because we limit teaching our children to academic, guidance or supporting them to do homework and things like that. If we understand that learning begins way, way, way before our children get into a formal or traditional school, if we understand that education starts right before our children even think of the four walls or see the four walls of a traditional school, then we would know that we are actually the most important teachers in the lives of our children. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you why, if in case you don't know, or you are still arguing or struggling with the fact that you are a teacher and the most important one at that in your child's life. I'm going to share with you 7 reasons why you are your child's best teacher and your child's most important teacher. Number 1, you as a parent have got this thing that we call unconditional love for your child. Abi, you don't have it. I don't know about you, but I do have unconditional love for my children. And I know you do also. Now, what this means is that you can be present in the life of your child in a way that, cuts them slacks. You can extend grace to your children in a way that no other person can. You can provide a safe, nurturing environment where your child can feel loved and your child can feel accepted. Now, there is nothing that fosters, confidence and a willingness to learn than when the person knows that the person who is teaching them loves them, right, and is 100% there to support them. So when children learn, I mean, they learn the most effectively with the teachers or the people that they connect with. Now, this is a natural thing that you have as a parent by virtue of the fact that you are the child's parent. So you do not have to go the extra mile, right? You don't have to do anything extra, right, to get the child to love you. You already started bonding from the day the child was born. So knowing the place of bonding in your relationship with that child, knowing what it takes, right, to actually be that person that the child can come to love, trust, and of course, accept totally, then you can put yourself into that space from the very beginning and create that springboard for your child to be a lifelong learner, because now the child feels safe with you. The child feels loved unconditionally, right? And so your child is able to learn easily. Your child is able to build confidence, and your child becomes a willing learner because you are the one that the child is learning from. So this is one aspect of parenting, or this is one benefit that you have as a parent when you teach your child, that a lot of us do not take advantage of, and it's something I want you to start taking advantage of today. Number two, you have the deepest, or you have the capacity to have the deepest kind of understanding, right? You are able to understand your child and the needs of that child because you know that child through and through. You know the child better than anyone else. Right, you know their strength, you know their weaknesses, you know how they learn best, you know their love language, you know what they're passionate about, and of course, you have intimate knowledge of the things that are important to the child. You have deepest knowledge of the things that are personal to this child. So yes, you can harness all of this knowledge and information that you have, right, in teaching and guiding the child. So yes, dear parents, you are your child's best. You are the best person for the job. All right. Now, this is not to say that we want to water down the place of traditional school. All right. Remember, I said at the beginning, the reason that you think you can't teach your child, or the reason that you are skeptical about calling yourself your child's number one teacher, is because that you think that education is all about learning concepts, definitions, and all of the things that go on in school. You think education is all about math and science, English and physics. That's what you think. No, education is a holistic approach to transforming a human being. So education is learning across all areas. The child is learning skills, the child is learning habits, the child is learning concepts, the child is learning and understanding the world that they live in. The child is learning language. The child is learning all of these things. So no, it isn't just about, the child learning mathematical concepts and things like that. So that you can remove that from your mind and you stop that fixed mindset that makes you think that teaching your child is you sitting down on one end of the table or one side of the table and the child sitting on the other side and you are pointing at a piece of paper. Education is more fun than that. Education is your everyday life. Education is you modeling to your child how to navigate through real life situation. That is the actual education, and it's one that we want to start paying attention to. All right. You are constantly present, or you are more present than anyone else in your child's life. So you are the one who can observe your child better than any teacher who has in the first place 10, 20 children or even more to pay attention to per time. You have 1 to 3 children. And so you can actually put yourself into being able to observe that child, to be present in the child's life. You witness the child's daily growth. Remember that, dear parents. You witness their development. You are the one who knows the different milestones that the child has, surmounted. You are the one who knows what it is that the child had a challenge. The parts of the child's life that the child struggled with or had challenges with. You know the child through and through. You know all of the opportunities that the child has had. And so you know how to key into future opportunities based on the child's strength. You know how to help the child adapt to their education or adapt to life because you know this child through and through. So tell me, who can know your child? What teacher knows your child the way you, who is a parent of the child, knows the child? So you can take advantage of that when you are educating the child, all right? you can take advantage of this. Number four, you can actually tailor the child's learning, all right, to meet the child's need. You can tailor the child's learning, right, to take advantage of the peak period or the best time that your child learns. Remember, you know this child through and through. So you know the times that the child is most active. You know the time that the child is usually in their best, right? You know the time that the child, is probably having a down time or down moment and all of that, because you know the patterns in this child. Remember, you are their parent, so you can customize their learning to match the child's individual pace and the child's individual interest, because you know your child. So this will make the learning more effective and enjoyable, because now you are stepping in, or you are keying in, into the child's interest and what it is that can bring or lead to productive results. Now, in a traditional school, the child has to conform, or the child has to align with what it is that is on ground in the school. But in your home, you can tailor the child's learning. You can pace the child's learning based, on all that you know about this child. So these are the things that we are talking about. All right. So does this mean that because you have all of this, your child doesn't have a need to go to a traditional school? Not at all. If you're not a parent who is ready to homeschool your child, if you're a parent, you have your own things to do and you're not in that space, you are not planning to take on homeschooling, right? You do not have to take your child out of a traditional school, right, for you to execute or for you to actually use your personalized education plan. Your personalized education plan can be used side by side with your child's, with whatever it is or curriculum that the child is using in school. By virtue of the fact that you decide to be intentional as a parent, you are partially homeschooling your child. So why don't you now put that system? Why don't you now put a system, right, into that education, right? That's what we're saying. Why don't you make it so effective that you have a system to actually educate your child even at home? Now, when you do this, you are able to take care of every aspect of the child's learning without doing guesswork or leaving things to chance. What many of us do, it's not as if we don't educate our children in one way or the other, but because we don't create a plan around it, we leave too many gaps. We leave too many things unattended because those things either did not come up as issues during the course of our parenting, or for some reason we missed it because we weren't there. I was sharing a story today how yesterday I stumbled on something that our daughter wrote somewhere in her jotter, right? A long time ago. She couldn't even put a finger, as to when exactly she wrote it, but she wrote it some time ago. And it was something that threw me off balance. All right. It's personal, right, to her. And she didn't give me permission to share. So I'm not sharing, what exactly it was. But basically, I saw this and it threw me off balance. It wasn't anything, like I would think that she would write. But she had it right there. And, for me, it just, it was, for me, it just showed, in parenting, it just showed how in parenting, the child is an individual. And if we do not pay attention, we are not present, and we do not have plans, there are so many aspects of the child's life that we can leave. There's so many gaps, right? Even with your parenting, with a personalized plan, if you do not go through, even with your parenting your child, right, and teaching your child at home, if you don't create a plan that covers a lot of the areas that you need to teach your child, or you need to help your child go through during the period of 18 years that you are parenting, guide guiding and supporting the child, you will miss out so many things, especially if those things don't come up during the course of your parenting. And as I said, if you missed them, things that happened when you were not there present. Now, but when you have a plan, what you will find out is you have gone ahead and you have taught, you have preempted, you have taught some of these things beforehand. So when the child has an experience, right, even when you are not there, the child is equipped to take care of that, to take care of that situation, or the child is equipped with what they need for that experience or for that situation. That's why a personalized education plan is very important. So it's very key. You can tailor your child's instruction to meet your child's specific needs. Now, as a parent, you are your child's best teacher and number one teacher, because you can create a learning for your child that is both flexible and adaptable. Yes, it's both flexible and adaptable. Adaptability is a thing because you can always go back and tweak what you have. Take, for instance, what I'm talking about. I stumbled on something, in our daughter's jotter yesterday. And as a result, because of what I saw, we had a conversation about it. I went straight and I took her personalized plan. Now, a personalized plan also allows you to have a document of your journey. So you're able to document your journey, what you want to do with the child. And so I went back and I looked at her personalized plan to see if we haven't done, if we have taught, if I have skilled her in that area, or if we've done something extensive in that area. I looked at it and I realized, yeah, we have touched on this area, but I don't think she was equipped, right, enough in that area. So because of what I saw yesterday, I'm able to go back to her personalized plan and I'm able to put that in, and that becomes another thing. It becomes what we are looking at. Now, it doesn't have to be that we'll start looking at it immediately, like today. But now I can factor it into what I need to do with her in the next few days, in the next few months, in the next, I have factored it in as a gap. Right. I factored it as something that is there as a gap that I need to nip in the bud, or I need to give her more or equip her more in that area in order for her to navigate in this area of her life. So a personalized education plan is flexible. It allows you to go back and look at what is on ground based on what it is that is happening in the child's life, and you're able to, adapt to your present situation. So it's flexible. Now, that's what that's what a curriculum in a traditional school may not do for your child, because the curriculum is not tailored to each of the children or as to your child as an individual. But you have the opportunity as a parent to go back and look at the curriculum in your home and then tailor that curriculum to meet the need that you can already see that your child has, or the gap that you can see that your child has. I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, oh, okay, as my daughter is almost 10, right? She's 9 going on 10. Now, as she's growing older, right, I'm beginning to know her more and more. I'm seeing other aspects of her unfold, right? Now, because I have a plan, because there is a documentation of her plan, we're able to see the things, the things that are happening to her that we had not included, right? Or that we did not have in her plan. And we're able to go and add those things to her plan. We're able to go and adjust those things, So that's the advantage that you have when you are a parent who is also planning, creating plans for your children, and of course, building curriculum. Building a curriculum in your home for each of your children, or building the curriculum in your home and personalizing different aspects of that curriculum to meet the need of each of your children. Don't worry, when we call these terms, right, they make it sound as if these things are like too serious or too big. No, it's not. It's just simple. What is it that you want to see in your children? What are the challenges that your child has got? What are the strengths that your child has got? What are the weaknesses that your child has got? How can you create a plan to help them sharpen the weakness, the strength that they have? How can you create a plan to turn the strength that they have into skills that can make them valuable, into skills that can help them solve problems in that area, into skills that can make them masters in around that area? Them in skills. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Sorry, let me. There's someone I need to. Anyway, sorry, I'm using my mobile device, so there was an interruption there. Okay, sorry about that. All right. So, what can you do with the strength that they have, right, to actually build something out of it? Now you come back and you look at their weaknesses. Their weaknesses, okay, these are the things that the child is struggling with. But hey, it is not the child's destiny. What can we do to help them build skills that will help them manage these weaknesses? What can we do that will help equip them, right, to deal with this aspect of their life, or to equip them to become skilled in the areas where they are struggling with, to become skilled in the areas where they have challenges? All right. What can we do to help them surmount the challenges that they have in those areas? Now, how are you going to do this? At what stage? What resources will I need? What tools would you need? What strategies can you use? At what stage? How long will I work on this? Okay, these are the things that you incorporate into your child's personalized education plan. Now, we don't just tell you these things and leave you to go and figure it out. We have a challenge that is coming up in the first week of March, okay, but you have to register for it as soon as possible. All right. In that challenge, it's a whole 10 days challenge. So we will walk through with you so that you can take a whole 10 days to create. You give 1 hour every day for 10 days to create that plan for your child. Create the plan for one or multiple of your children, or create one for one child, and then you can use that as a guide to create for the other children. Or during the period, you can actually put it there, and then you're working on 3 children at the same time. But we will hold your hands, we will guide you, and we will walk you through it. As when you're done, throughout that period, when you are done, what you would have created is a curriculum for 10 years for you to help your child. A curriculum for 10 years that will become a roadmap to guide you in your work or in your parenting of each of these children, based on the child's personal needs and based, on the child's interests and everything that is personalized to the child. All right. Right. So when you as a parent decide that, or realize that you are a teacher and you the most important one in the child's life, you are able to build a solid foundation for the child. Remember, I said at the beginning of this class that education begins way before your child goes into a traditional school. So if you are one of those parents that leave your children with the nanny that has nothing stimulating to teach your child, the only job that the nanny has is to make sure that your child eats, that the child sleeps. So the nanny feeds the child, puts the child on her back, rocks the child. So your child spends most part of their formative years when their brain is developing at its most rapid state. The stage where your child needs all the stimulation, where your child needs the stage where your child is developing language, your child is developing organization, your child is developing all of these powerful skills, all of the powerful skills that your child needs, right, for the formative years, for their foundation, the foundation to the rest of their life, especially in the first 3 years of their life. That is the first 3 years of their life that you just dump the child with someone whose only job is to feed the child and ensure that the child sleeps and the child is safe. And then what happens throughout that time? Very little or no stimulation, or the wrong kind of stimulation, overstimulation, because all that your child is seeing is, watching TV, when the person is not backing them or forcing them to eat or forcing them to sleep, the child is focused on a screen. We're talking, this isn't even just about, the nannies at home. Sometimes even some of the crashes that we take the children to, that's basically all that they do. They feed the child, get the child to sleep, and then put the child to view a screen the whole time, overstimulating the child. At the end of the day, no real stimulation is going on during the first 3 years of the child's life, the point where the child is developing, their brain is developing at the most rapid state, or more in the most rapid way, right? That the child needs all the stimulation for the child to prepare for the rest of their lives. So this is it. So we waste, or we don't take advantage of this period of the child's life, right? Just because we do not know. Do you know you can start creating that plan already, so that you know what to do with the child? You know what stimulation you want to create. I mean, create the right environment for the child. You know how to create the right environment for the child. You know how to present the adequate stimulation in the child's environment. You know how to make the best of the time that you have with the child. You know how to use play technique to help the child's brain development. You know all of these things. So you are able to create a solid foundation for the child, just because you know and you were able to create the right kind of plan for your child. These are the things that we are talking about. All right. So it will help you, of course, create the right kind of foundation for your child. So that's number 6. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is, of course, advocacy and empowerment. All right. When you as a parent sit in that place knowing that you are your child's best teacher, of course, who else advocates for your child as much as you do? Who else can encourage your child and empower your child as much as you can do? You are your child's biggest advocate. Of course, you can ensure that your child's educational needs are being met, all right, and that you are helping your child reach their full potential. No one else can do this as much as you can. So I hope I've convinced you that you, my dear, are your child's biggest, your child's most important teacher. And yes, you can teach your child, because no, learning starts from the cradle. Learning starts right from when your child is 1 day old. So you can start preparing. It starts with you preparing the right environment. It starts with you being the best environment for your child. It starts with you understanding how to, introduce stimulation into your child's environment. It starts with you understanding how your child's brain works and what to do to help maximize, right, the child's potential for every phase of the child's life. So this is it. All right. So we would help you do all of this. We'll help you maximize, right, this phase of your child's life. If you are a parent of a toddler, this course is especially for you, the parent of a child between 0 and 6. This course is especially for you. But it's not just for you. This course is also for parents who have school-age children and parents who have preteens. So if you have children between 0 and 13, please jump in. It's a challenge. It's not even a course. So meaning we're going to be doing hands-on practical things right from day 1 to the last day. We will be here guiding you, my team and I. And I promise you, at the end, you will be glad that you actually took this course, okay, or that you decided to enroll for this challenge. All right. So now let's look at why it is important. The personalized plan is important, right? Why is it important that you are creating this personalized education plan? Why do you have to create it? And of course, let me share with you 7 ways that a personalized plan can change the life of your child. All right. So number 1, it increases your child's confidence. All right. Now, when you create a personalized plan for your child, it actually is centered on your child's strength. It takes into cognizance your child's strength. It takes into It takes into cognizance your child's strength, your child's weakness, and all of that. And so it is paying attention to your child's growth. So it is centered on your child. And I tell you, anything that you do, anything that you do and you are giving attention, you end up feeling really very important. You understand, the child knows that the child is important. The child understands that they are important. The child sees that they are important to you. Now, there is nothing that builds a child's confidence than knowing that you see them. There's nothing that builds their confidence than having you right there, encouraging and supporting them through every phase of their lives. There is nothing that builds confidence than when children win. And children who are supported, children who have you right there with them, of course, turn out to be winners. And the winning starts with small things. The winning starts with them building, trying to create something, and then they achieve it. It starts with your child piecing those little sticks and, cones together and achieving the thing that they imagined. All right. The children are able to build their ability to imagine things. They are able to build their ability to create things. And as they imagine and they bring to life their imagination, right inside there is a sense of fulfillment that it gives the child. It is that sense of fulfillment that builds their confidence, knowing that I dreamt of this. For you, it could be small, but for the child, it's a big dream. Do you know what it means? Even at your level, you know what it means to sit down and curate a business plan to achieve a project, or to create, a plan to actually achieve a project. And then you see that project come alive gradually. And then you actually see the thing that you pictured in your head from the very beginning. There is nothing that boosts your confidence in your ability than knowing that I curated this, I planned this in my mind, and I could bring it to life. It is the same thing that happens to your child when he's able to build that tower that he envisaged or that he imagined when he saw those tiny little blocks all around scattered in a box. He looks and he imagines that he can bring this to life, and he's able to piece those tiny blocks and use them to create that thing that he imagined. Confidence overload. That's what it is. All right. So when you have personalized plans like that allow children walk with their own pace, that allow children bring to life the things that they imagine, that gives them the time where they're not moving from one subject to the next subject. Why the child is still struggling to finish one thing. In fact, while the child is on it, a teacher is breathing down their neck and shouting, will you hurry up? You don't know how to do anything. Look at you. Your mates have finished. That's how we stifle or we kill creativity in our children. Now, if the children get this in traditional schools, if they get this out there, now when they come home, you have a plan that allows them start and finish. You have a plan that allows them go at their pace. You have a plan that encourages them to start and finish everything. You have a curriculum and you have a personalized plan that allows the child pace themselves, or that you pace the child based on your child's uniqueness. What you are doing is you are creating an environment where your child can thrive in their own, thrive at their own pace and all of that. There is nothing that gives your child confidence as much as this. And this is what you will be doing if you are that parent that understands what it means to create your own plan at home, all right, for your child to grow in. So yes, a personalized plan will help your child build their confidence. It will increase their confidence. And of course, I just talked about creativity. It will definitely enhance your child's creativity, all right, building self-esteem and confidence, and all of that, all of it comes into this. A personalized plan encourages exploration. It encourages your child to be creative, to express their creativity. It allows the child, and of course, it fosters innovation in your children. And of course, when children are allowed to do this, they become great problem solvers. They become people of value. As your child begins to solve those small things for himself when he's playing, it moves from him solving those little problems, right, when he's playing, to him solving problems for you in your home. And that's it. As he builds confidence, he's able to say to people outside, I got this, I can solve that for you. And before you know it, you have someone who is valuable to their community. First of all, the child is valuable to himself. He's able to solve his own problem when he is doing his thing. The child becomes valuable to you, is able to solve those little problems in your home, and then is valuable to his community. Where do you think Mark Zuckerberg? How do you think Mark Zuckerbergs and all of the Einsteins and all these people who are creating things every day to make our lives better, where do you think it's coming from? It's the same concept, it's the same principle, it's the same thing. And it all begins with parents who know what it takes to create the right environment and the right roadmap for the child to navigate. And it starts with you creating that plan on your own, or creating that plan for yourself. I mean, in your home for your child. All right. It enhances strong learning skill. Of course, it helps build a stronger, love for learning in your child. So your child wants to learn. A child who is allowed to explore is a child who wants to discover more. So the need to discover is what makes your child explore. And of course, as your child explores, the need to learn more is increased in the child. This is how we raise children who become lifelong learners. This is how we raise children who want to find answers to the questions that they have. Children like these are constantly asking questions. Children like these are constantly looking for solutions to the questions that they have. So yes, when you create personalized plans that put into that curriculum exploration, allowing the child to, figure out things on their own, allowing the child to discover things on their own, right? You are giving them the power. You're giving them the power to increase their capacity and their hunger and passion for learning. All right. Our children have at least 2 hours every day where they are not told what to do. They are not told what to do, but they definitely cannot use any gadgets during those 2 hours. Now, during those 2 hours, what you will catch them doing is, for our daughter, you catch her painting, you will catch her drawing. So her dad will actually buy her the big, at every point she has the big drawing book, scrapbook, whatever they call it. She has that at every point. So what you would do, you will catch her drawing, you will catch her using an instruction. So if you see her online, probably on YouTube, you will see her trying to, sketch something, right, with the instruction. I mean, I think they have some channels like that for those of them who draw, that they actually, drawing tutorials. So you see her doing a drawing tutorial. You will see her working on a puzzle, or one of her puzzles that she's trying to finish. You will see her crocheting, right? You will see her. So these are the things that you're likely going to see her doing during that 1 hour. Or you will see her reading a book. These are the things that you will likely see her doing during those 2 hours that she has to herself. Our son, most likely, you will find him trying to create a design on Canva. You will find him reading a book, also creating a design on Canva, or going back to the book that he's writing. Now, these are the things. Now, when we give, it's because this is incorporated in our personalized plan. That is why we don't joke with those 2 hours that the children have. Now, during the week, sometimes, because of where we live and the time it takes for them to get home, they don't get the 2 hours sometimes. We're getting home at 5 o'clock. Sometimes we get home at 5 o'clock. We get home just before 5. So they don't have that time. We still have to cook. They still have to go and be a part of cooking, or they have to cook, right? And of course, they still have to do their homework, and all that. They still have to study. So sometimes they get only about 1 hour. But even in that 1 hour, you will still see them trying to do one or two of these things that I've talked about. So because our personalized plan gives room for that creativity to be nurtured every day. So it's very important what you have in that plan. All right. Of course, it leads to great academic success. So I always say to parents, you see this academic thing, this academic success, right? It is the fruits of the systems, right? And it's the fruit of the plan that you have created. So now when you have created your personalized education plan, you are able to create a system in your home that actually, take in all of these things. Now, a child who is working with a plan, a child whose plan is tailored to the child's need, a child whose plan has taken into, consideration the time to study, the time to explore, the time to build, the time to create. What do you think that kind of child would be? That child is going to be a deep thinker. That child is going to be someone who is capable of critical thinking. That child is going to be someone who is resilient. That child is going to be a hard worker. That child is going to be someone, of course, who can solve problems. What does it take, right? Of course, that child is going to be highly disciplined. Please, what do you think it takes to do well academically? These are the things that it takes to do well academically. When you have a child who is hardworking, a child who is resilient, a child who is disciplined, a child who is able to research and get answers to their questions, a child who can explore, a child who can discover things on their own, a child who is constantly asking why, a child who begins and finishes the things that they start, a child who knows how to pay attention to details, a child who knows how to control themselves or lead themselves. Automatically, this is the child that is academically successful. So when we leave every other thing and we are just focused, right? So when parents leave every other thing and they are usually just focused on the child doing lesson, the child doing homework, doing lesson after lesson, the next homework after the. When you are focused on all of those things, you just help the child to probably do well in one area. Okay. And many times, most times, children who go through this kind of process or system do not even turn out to be lifelong learners. They don't turn out to be people who love and enjoy learning per se. They are just children who end up doing it because they don't have a choice. Now, the worst part of it is that these children become children who can lead or direct themselves because their learning is usually led and directed by the instructors, the adults in their lives. So you find that the child is in school where the child is led by the teachers in school, where the child is led by the teacher or the subject teacher in school. So the child's classwork is directed by this person. Do page this, do page that, finish at this time, pens down. Do you understand? The child is led by this. And then the child comes home again where there's supposed to be reinforcement. And you have lesson teachers there. Again, leading and directing the child which way. At what point is the child going to lead themselves? At what point is the child's learning going to be self-led? So these are the issues. So when we give them too many scaffolds, right? Too many people directing or being present or being there for them to navigate, we end up making them, dependent on these people. So that's why you hear parents say, oh, the child is having exam or test tomorrow. Oh, the lesson teacher has to come. Lesson teacher has to come every day to prepare them for exams. You are making that child, you are incapacitating the child. You are making that child dependent on external drive, on external support for them to achieve anything. And it's a disservice to the child. All right, very key. All right, we have to finish. I'm going to give you a last one and we will be done for the day. All right, the other thing is, of course, it will improve their life skill. It will improve their passion for learning. It will increase, of course, it will help the child have a strong parent and child bond. All right. So when we create this, we build a strong parent-child bond between us and our children. We, of course, help our children we nurture them to have a passion for learning, and all of that, of course. And of course, it will improve, right, their life skills. So these are some of the reasons why you absolutely need to create a personalized plan for your child. But if you don't know how to go about it, it's fine. fine. We are here for you. 10 days challenge begins in the first week of March. Registration is open already. You can jump in. All right. You can jump in and take the earliest bird advantage, 4.99. With 4.99, you can register right now for the challenge. All right. I don't know. I think in the next 2 weeks or so, that price is going to change from 4.99, all right, to a higher price. But the late registration fee is about 7,000 naira. So why do you want to pay 7,000 naira when you can pay 4.99 to be a part of this challenge? But I promise you, the challenge will leave you equipped. The challenge will leave you with a plan for each of your children. The challenge will leave you with a roadmap that you can use to give your children this springboard, this advantage that they need, right, to grow and to become in the most authentic way, right, to grow and to become in the most conducive or healthy and stimulating way, basically. All right. And it's not something that you want to take for granted. We've done the personalized education plan in the past, right? It used to be a course. And many times all the times that we've run that course, we will come, we will show parents how to do it, we will work with them, we'll show them how to do it, right? Because we leave it to them to now go and create. We show them samples, we do one of it with them, show them samples, have sessions with them and all of that. But because a lot of times we leave them to go and create the plan on their own afterwards, right? Some of them never come around to doing it. A lot of them never come around to doing it because it's actually a cumbersome activity. So you can be there 1 year, 2 years, 5 years as an intentional parent, and yet you're not able to put together, right, a curriculum or put together a personalized plan for your children. Now, this is an opportunity for you to do it with us, in the group. Do it with us in a community where we are with you from the very beginning to the end. And at the end of the 10 days, you will have your plan in your hand. How about that? All right. So I think you should take advantage of that opportunity, especially because it's highly affordable also. All right. So why don't you go ahead and do that? Let this be the year that you eventually create that personalized plan for your children. All right. So yes, I'm here rooting for you. And of course, getting set to work with you. Okay, the team and I are getting set to work with you to create your very own personalized plan for each of your children. So don't miss this opportunity. All right, thank you for joining us today. Okay, I hope I have been able to convince you that you are your child's first and the most important teacher in their life, and that a personalized education plan is a winning plan. It will transform your parenting, and it will practically save or change your child's life. Thank you again for joining me. Do have a fantastic week ahead, and do have a blessed day or the rest of the day. Thank you again, and I'm sorry for all the glitches we had at the beginning. Okay. We do not take it for granted that you allow us be a part of your journey. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in the show next week at 1 p.m. Bye for now.